So, guys, I'm back here just to go over a few more points about Romanticism. So, there's a document attached in the file for the Romanticism lesson in Schoology. So, I'm just going to go over a few important points in that document. Um, the first thing I want to talk about is how Romanticism compared to its previous style of art and of reading and writing. Um, First, there were a lot of people writing at that time that were more so professionals. Writing was not really their career. It was more of a side thing, an extra, I wouldn't say hobby, but an extra, kind of like a side hustle. Like they didn't do this for real. They just kind of wrote what was happening in the present, things that were more so for political and journalistic reasons, such as people like Thomas Jefferson and Benjamin Franklin. We remember them, but we don't remember them for writing novels or poetry or things like that. So some another important point is that America at the time was really new. It was still a fresh um, entity, so they got a lot of their cultural identity from Europe, from England. So they were still using a lot of the writings from Europe, the books, the Bibles, all of the things that were written in England. They were still using that for their day to day literature use. And for 200 years, this went on until eventually, people started to branch out and start writing their own thing. So you have things such as the first best-selling novel in America called Charlotte Temple by Susanna Rawson. Now, she was from Massachusetts, but she wrote this still living in England. So even then, you still have American writing, but, from England. And then you had more writers come out the woodworks. Some writers that, if I said their names, you would know who they are because they didn't survive the time of being very important. But then you have Clement Clark Moore, who wrote "'Twas the Night Before Christmas," and it first made its appearance in 1823. And even that poem wasn't meant to be published, but a relative of Moore gave the copy out, and of course, it became a poem that we still know today. Um, some other things that, like, the Romantic artists were trying to create the American identity. Again, they were using a lot of their cultural references from England, and in order to build a new identity, they had to stop referencing from England. So a lot of the works that you see during this time, they were trying to use American themes and using the history of the very short history of America to create new literature that would become American identity. Um, so again, Romanticism, it didn't really focus strictly on love, but it was viewed as an artistic movement, a state of mind, um, and intuition and imagination. It also focused on some human experience aspects, such as the mysterious, the strange, and the fantastic. So you have authors like Poe stepping in and writing these really um, kind of grotesque writings, but still keeping with the human experiences, because those experiences are something that we deal with on a daily basis. And then just my last point, that again, these writers were trying to build the American identity. So they used a lot of the American themes and the history of America.